you want.
We Are the Lucky Ones is a registered 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our mission is to document experiences from the luckiest fans while celebrating the finest fans. We accomplish our mission in several ways: writing show recaps, interviewing fans at shows, and hosting a podcast, giving fans many ways to share their stories. We are always accepting sponsorships and donations. If you are interested in contributing, please visit our website, www.wearetheluckyones.org, or send us an email, watlopodcast@gmail.com. Before we get started with this episode of We Are the Lucky Ones podcast, let's give a shout out to a few of our sponsors. Thank you to Simpson Yancey Law, Letter 9, and Magic and Glory. Enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to We Are the Lucky Ones podcast. We're super stoked to have Ray Dannemon on the show today from Magic and Glory. Magic and Glory has been a sponsor of We Are the Lucky Ones. You can thank Ray for our beautiful logo, and we're happy to have her here today. So before we get started, my name is Danny. I'm a co-host here at We Are the Lucky Ones. Jeffrey, you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Danny. Jeffrey here. Coming in from Oregon today. Thanks for viewing.
And Ray, who are you?
Hi, I'm Ray Dannemon, and I am the owner of Magic and Glory, the sponsor of this podcast.
All right, Ray. So I'd like you to start with just kind of your experience being a Widespread Panic fan and how you kind of came up in the scene.
Yeah, so I have been seeing Panic since 2000. My first show is I'm from Iowa, and my first show is in Council Bluffs, Iowa, with actually a good portion of my family. My first show was also my mom, my dad, and my little sister's first show. But my brother, who's 11 years older than me, was always going to Panic and Fish, and he's definitely responsible for getting all of us into Widespread Panic specifically. I mean, my parents had good taste in music, and I grew up around a lot of good music, but Panic was a discovery we kind of all made together, which makes it that much more special. You know, we all still see Panic together to this day. So that's fun.
Families who panic together stay together.
Yeah. So yeah, 25 years under my belt. I mean, I don't have a show count. It's a lot. I don't want to know, because I feel like it'll be too easy for me to do like quick math in my head and realize how much money I've spent seeing this band. But yeah, so a lot of shows, and I definitely had some years in there where I didn't see them that much. And then around 2016, I got divorced, and all of a sudden I had my son half the time, and I was kind of like, what do I do with this other half of my time? I'm like kind of going crazy. And so I started to travel for music again, and then I just didn't stop. So Panic kind of became a new old obsession, I guess, because I thought my tour days and my like obsessing over this band and putting all my money and free time into it was like a thing of the past. And then it wasn't at all. It's like I had a whole second season of loving Panic, and it's been amazing. I've met all my best friends, like almost all my best friends, almost everyone important in my life besides my family, I've probably met through Panic or music, you know? It's an amazing thing.
So flashing back to the beginning, it sounds like pre-marriage, pre-child, you had this moment where you decided to go on tour with Panic?
Yeah. I definitely, my first show, I was hooked. I mean, I had seen Fish a couple times, and I like had fun, but it didn't do it for me. I didn't get it. You know, I wasn't like, why are people like uprooting their whole lives and like going on tour with this band? Like, it doesn't seem that great. And like, no shade. I love Fish, but it didn't totally click for me. I wasn't ready to just like go on tour, you know? My first Panic show, I like probably never took my eyes off of JB. I was like, who is this man? What are these sounds coming out of him? So it was pretty early on that I was like, I was also 17, almost 18. It was the summer after my senior year. I did not know what I was going to do with my life. So I was like, Panic Tour sounds great. So I definitely saw some Panic shows that year, but it was 2001. Harmony Park, which is a pretty infamous show. It was the 4th of July. And can we talk about all the things on this podcast? It was like one of the first times I ever took MDMA. And so there was a lot of things, well, a lot of factors there, but Harmony Park's this really special music venue in southern Minnesota. I was living in Iowa at the time, so it's just it's like kind of right over the border. And it's a really special place. And Panic played there. It's a camping venue, so you're all staying on site. I was there with my family, and yeah, there was just a point during the show, during Four Cornered Room, where I was just when I like remember back to it, was like out of my own body, kind of looking down at myself and being like, yeah, you're gonna just go on a Panic Tour. Like, this is it, you know? And it was a four-cornered heathen, four-cornered, and my fucking 18-year-old Bob Marley obsessed ass was like, what is this? I'll never forget it. I still go back and listen to it, and like it takes me right back to that like moment in time. And I was just like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. And it was 4th of July. So I just went on summer tour and then did my first, I think we caught what shows we could that summer. I was always traveling with my sister. I have 4 siblings. My next oldest sister, Amber, who's 4 years older than me. We just went to whatever shows we could fit in that summer, but we planned for the next fall tour. And that was the first, so 2001 fall tour. They did like Berkeley, the Greek, you know. And that was my first full tour. And the first time I ever made my own fan art, actually.
Yeah, tell me about that. So then you made art and started selling it right away, or
yeah,
how did that work?
So at that point, I'd kind of gotten privy to the culture of like selling stuff in the lot scene, and you know, I guess I just was, yeah, like anybody. I was like, how can I go on tour? You know, I was probably working at some place delivering pizzas or something at the time. I kept very flexible jobs in my early 20s for that reason. But yeah, so we went on tour. I had, you know, at this point, I have no formal training in art. I was just, you know, I would draw things a lot. I drew a lot. So I made this poster for the Greek Theater. It's so funny to think about now. Like now when I'm like doing research for a poster, it's like everyday companion. I'm like putting together inspiration boards. You know what I mean? Then I was like, oh, I have this idea. It's like the Greek Theater. I've never been there. Like I maybe could like found a picture of it somewhere. I don't even know. Like the internet wasn't really even a thing yet. But I remember thinking Greek Theater, I'm going to draw all the boys in togas. So, man, I wish I had it with me right now to show you guys, but it's a funny poster. I'm still very proud of it, but I finished it. It was watercolor. I finished it in Reno, Nevada in the hotel room the day before the Greek run, I think. And then we got it printed at like a local print shop. And I sold out the first, maybe not the first night. I think it was the next day, this day 2 of that run, 3-night run. I sold out day 2 before the show. And like, I'm like an 18-year-old wolf. That was so much money. And that was like the rest of the tour for us, you know? And it changed my whole life. To be like, oh, I can sell my art to pay for this. And like, it blew my 18-year-old mind. And like the rest is history.
So that was poster art.
Mm-hmm.
Did you mostly make poster art then?
That is pretty much all I did. I did a couple of shirts that I sold, but they were just such a big investment. And so that didn't happen very often. But this one, it's not an original, but the Panic Dork shirt that I'm wearing now, it's the second version of this, but the first version was like ones that I'd screen printed in a friend's living room, like right before we went on tour. And I think I sold them, I think it was 2000, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. Sometime in the early 2000s, but they were black, just like this, like black with like white letters. I want to say we printed 60 maybe. We were just doing like a little like 4 or 5 run tour, you know? And and sold all that I brought with me. And I still see them every once in a while, which is so exciting. And they'll be like super faded, and it's just like such a, it's a point of pride for me to see that shirt out in the wild every once in a while. And on the back, it says, "You think that it's stupid, I think that it's cool," which I'm still proud of. I think it's the perfect line.
All right. Okay, so now kind of fast forwarding, I know Magic and Glory does a lot more than posters.
Yes.
What art are you making now?
Right now, I would say focus is mostly on doing, I've sort of found this niche of jewelry. So I make a lot of earrings and different jewelry. That was sort of born out of a desire to not be on a computer screen or an iPad screen all the time, which is how I do most of my illustration. I quit my job a few years ago to full-time freelance, and I needed something that was like off the computer. And I also wanted something that was easy to travel with, because most panic runs these days are flying situations for me because I'm in the middle of the country. And so I wanted something that I could vend with that would be a little bit easier to transport. So that's fit the bill there. But I make a lot of stuff. I mean, I make a lot of I like to do clothes or t-shirts and tank tops. Specifically, my niche is a little bit like the female part of the panic crowd, which I think often gets ignored when it comes to official merch and other fan art. So there's not a lot of crop tops out there, for example. So I decided to fill in that gap and start making stuff there. And I make a lot of hats, a lot of koozies over the years. I still do a lot of prints and a lot of illustration. And yeah, I'm kind of all over the place, but I've been trying to like hone it in a little bit because I spread myself a little thin wanting to make all the things. But currently I'm in Christmas season, so I make jam band Christmas cards, mostly panic, but they sell surprisingly well. Jam band Christmas cards and Valentine's are like my little weird niche that I stumbled upon, that every year now I make cards and Christmas related silly things like ornaments, and they sell really well. And I love Christmas and I love widespread panic. So it's a fun little merging of
love your ornaments. Yeah, I think I bought 6 last year, and I travel around with them and I rotate out what's hanging on my rearview mirror.
Yes,
I use them as like rearview mirror art. Like,
it's actually part of the inspiration for me to turn your earrings, which started as a Christmas ornament, into a sun catcher. I make a lot of sun catchers too, and rainbow makers.
From the picture I sent you hanging on my rearview mirror.
Yeah.
I love that. Amazing. Okay, so you made a really big leap just like a couple months ago, I think, to get off of Etsy.
Yes, I did. So I started as most handmade or, small artists will. I started with an Etsy shop, which there's a lot of advantages in terms of people finding you and finding your art for sure. There was some big disadvantages, like the amount of fees they took, especially after I got to a certain, my business got to a certain size and I couldn't opt out of paid ads and stuff. Anyways, it wasn't for me anymore. And I really had all along wanted to have my own site, my own website, because when people go on Etsy, they shop for widespread panic gifts or whatever. They don't shop for Magic and Glory. So I noticed while I was vending at Moontide markets or on Lot or whatever, and people would see my stuff and say, "Hey, wait, I have this thing you made. I got it on Etsy." And it's like, they didn't know what Magic and Glory was, like, unless they followed me on Instagram. It was like, they just bought whatever they found on it. They'd say, "I got it on Etsy." People would always say that to me. And I was like, well, that's not great brand recognition. If people can't spread the word about where they got this thing besides saying Etsy, after several years, I've been doing Magic and Glory formally, I guess, since 2018, I want to say.
Okay, so since you left Etsy, where can people find your art?
Magicandglory.com. which has always been my URL, but it just goes straight to my own Shopify site now rather than Etsy. So tell everybody you know.
Okay, and we can expect some holiday cards, some Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. It's a busy season for me.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited to shop for all of my holiday gifts. magicandglory.com. Okay, those are all my questions. Jeffrey, do you have any for Ray?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Ray, for sharing some of this. This is all something I've just been learning about. So it's special to think about being a creator of something that will be meaningful to what it amounts to a total stranger that you meet perhaps on the lot or, at the show somehow, and sell them something. And then that becomes part of their story, part of what they, maybe it becomes special to them. It's attached to a memory. So you're not only, a purveyor of these handmade art objects, but furthermore, memories or connections that people are making with you or with people that they buy it for a gift. So I was just wondering, what is it like for you? Well, you said I like the term, you see something in the wild, like a shirt that you made from years back. So you obviously have like this mental catalog of like what shirts you made, where you sold them, and then maybe you not remember every person that bought one of those shirts. So when you see one of your pieces in the wild, like a gal wearing some earrings or a cool little tank top or whatever, do you ever walk up and say, "Hey, I made that.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What's your name?"
Absolutely.
What are some moments you recall of like that, closing that circle and seeing some of your pieces, and going, do you walk up and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, I have had, honestly, I could tell you countless stories. I could cry about it. It's everything. It's like the most magical thing. But I have one particular story that happened to me. Let's see, it's a few years ago now. It's actually, I think, at the very first Moontime Market, maybe, in Huntsville. And I had a woman come into my booth and she said, "Oh, I bought my best friend this sticker when her husband died." And it's like a window sticker that you put in the window, and it's like prism. So when the sun comes through, it shoots rainbows around your room. And so she saw this, she said, "Oh, I gave this to my friend when her husband died." And I said, "That's so sweet." Well, right after that, her friend walks in. She says, "Oh, that's her right here." And this woman tells me this story that she'd gotten this rainbow sticker after her husband passed. She put it in the window in their bedroom. And I can still barely tell this story without crying. And every morning, the rainbows fall on his pillow on his side of the bed. I'm like, me, this woman, her friend, and my best friend, Rose, who is my ride or die and helps me with like my Magic and Glory booth a lot. We're all hugging and crying, and I'm still friends with those women. I rang in 2023, whatever the last Panic New Year's was, like right next to them. And that wasn't planned. They just came to the like one spot in the Fox Theater where we were, and we got to like ring in the new year and dance together. And, these women have been seeing Panic since the frat days. They have like stories upon stories, and like they would have never come into my life if it wasn't for that. I actually have a million stories like that. So yeah, it's really special. Seeing my stuff in the wild is like kind of why I do it, There was a time actually at Playa last year or the very last Playa, Daniel Donato was out on stage, and I was over in the corner where I dance in the grass, and I was so blissed out already because big Donato fan. So that sit-in was already just doing it for me. But I looked over the audience and I saw disco hats. I saw the neon green Beam Me Up Jimmy shirts everywhere because I think it was like Glow Night or something. But I just saw my merch like scattered across the audience. It was a peak life moment. And like you said, Jeffrey, you actually put it exactly how I always put it, which is, it is such an honor to be a little part of people's best moments, because that is what those are. I mean, those are my best moments, It's really special. I don't take it for granted.
I mean, I can't even imagine how special it is to have that time with a fan who's literally remembering, her her husband through something that you created.
Oh my gosh.
I know you made these little stickers that said "Body by Panic," and I got one of those stickers at Red Rocks randomly, and I molded my tour experience after that one sticker. You know, I always take the stairs. I never got a suitcase with wheels. I always carried 2 suitcases and doing curls on the jet way. You know,
This is like
waking up, going running. You know, just specific approaches to tour to get the Body by Panic. So the fact that you created that is incredible. I don't know how prolific the Body by Panic merch is out there. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have those.
It became a real thing. It went from like a funny inside joke to like a thing.
I mean, it was hilarious. That's so I don't know your entire body of work, but for me, that is one of my favorite things.
I love that. I mean, that's a pretty significant part of my history as a Panic fan artist, because that is one of the first, like those shirts I made, the Body by Panic, like tank tops with the holographic stuff. First, just for me and my friends or my family. And then people kept asking about them. And so I started to sell them. So that's actually one of the first things that I started to see around like a lot, you know, and they're pretty easy to spot, you know, because they're black shirts with like holographic letters and say Body by Panic. So I started to see those out in the wild. And I was like, man, it was really an epiphany for me, actually, because it was this silly inside joke between me and my sisters that we got to turn into a real thing because there was a Playa theme night, that like 80s theme night or whatever. So we went crazy with it. We were 80s aerobic instructors leading people through stretches and just being ridiculous. You know, we were like a 13 out of 10 on fire that night. Handing out stickers, Body by Panic stickers, anybody who was like dressed up, you know. And then fast forward, got home from that playa, and people in the message boards were like blowing me up, like wanting stickers and shirts and whatever. And I just thought, people get this? Like, this is just like this silly thing that me and my sisters used to joke about, because we'd be in a hotel room after a show and sort of coordinating like weird aerobic dances to Panic songs and calling it Body by Panic and joking that Panic's the best cardio, which I stand by. But the fact that people like took to that in the way that they did was so eye-opening to me. Like, these little things that you think are silly to you are actually like, people get it, you know? I mean, and that is literally magic and glory. I mean, the fact that people buy Christmas cards that have John Bell as Santa Claus on them, like, I thought I was the only person who would think that was funny. And I'm not. So it's amazing. But Body by Panic really that blew my mind, the way that caught on. And meeting you and hearing your story, of course, you know, makes me very happy.
Oh yeah, if someone sees me on an escalator, I get called out. They're like, "You have claimed Body by Panic. You have to take the stairs every time." In Atlantic City, I wore those stairs out. Of all the things you've created, what are some of the pieces that you're like the most proud of, that like, if you had like this, you know, a museum exhibit, what would you choose to put?
Yeah. Well, you know, because it's part of my history, I would put the Greek theater poster in there.
Yeah.
A lot of my probably most proud pieces are illustration work, because that is sort of my favorite thing. But those pieces are a lot more involved time-wise, and usually pretty specific to shows. So for Atlanta, the Makeup New Year's shows, I'm so bad at years. Was that 22, 21? When they had to do the
22, and that was the last time we got a Ain't No Use, which for again, hopefully soon.
Nice little fun fact. But that run, I did a poster for that run that was sandbox themed, because this is pre them bringing it back, and I spent many a year dropping sandbox references into my art in the hopes that they would bring it back, and then I was not there in Nashville when it happened. But I digress.
It was that year.
Yeah. So I made this sandbox poster.
Wait, sorry. Did you make the sandbox poster knowing they were going to do the date on Mikey's death date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Which ties right in. Thank you.
Sorry.
So keeping that in mind and just the history of the Fox, like the fact that Colonel Bruce died on stage there, like all of the things, the history in Atlanta, all of it, it all kind of came together in this poster that was sandbox lyrics that said, pick up things you don't want, bury, or wait. Yeah. What is it?
Pick
Bury
up things you do want. Mm-hmm.
And they're at, so also a little Panic fun fact from my history is I loved that song when I first started seeing Panic. I think I only saw it live once, but I just loved that song. And I always wanted to open a bar called The Sandbox and use that as like the tagline. Please, somebody steal it because I think it's a great idea. But I made this poster. And so it's Danny, Todd, Mikey sitting at the bar, and then Colonel Bruce bartending. And it's all in like blue, so they look kind of ethereal. And there's a lot of little Easter eggs in it. And there was just a lot of thought and many, many hours. I don't even want to know how many hours, honestly, because it was a bigger poster than I usually work on, because it was like, I want to say it was 16 by 20, which isn't huge. It's not like normal concert poster size, but like that scale for me is pretty large. So it was, a big one. But I mean, there was a lot of heart put into that. There was a lot of love and a lot of history and a lot of just being a huge Panic dork, you know? Mm-hmm. And once again, I debuted that poster and I had people buying it and telling me stories and crying about like their experiences with, I mean, the amount of Colonel Bruce stories I heard that weekend, like incredible. And just so many, you know, people connected with it. And it was a beautiful weekend to sell in that poster and having people understand it and appreciate it. And just I had countless, like, very amazing connections with people just on the street selling that poster, where they'd tell me a story and we'd both walk away like with tears in our eyes. And if you haven't already figured it out, big crier. And to do that with another Panic fan is just a really, those are the moments, you know, to hear a Colonel Bruce story that would bring both of us to tears, you know, like outside of the Fox Theater is just, that's where the name Magic and Glory comes from. Those are the moments of magic and glory. That's everything to me. That's probably one of my proudest pieces I've ever made.
That's true connection. I mean, that's what human beings really, connection. If we're doing that, we're living our best lives. And we think, oh, going to the concert, I'm going to party, I'm going to dance, I'm going to see this great music. And really, like, I think maybe the more and more fans are realizing what's creating that desire and that just joy to be at the shows is the connection. And through your merchandise, your art,
so much.
You are building an avenue for that, and that's just something that's sublime.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's
Absolutely.
Also a big part of my brand. I hate saying this. People say that to me or whatever, but just who I am as a person who wants to go out and spread love and joy and, like, you know, connect. I love to connect other people. I love bringing people who I think will love each other together. I mean, I think our community is made up of that, which is really amazing. But the connection with people and, like, the spreading my love in the form of this art that then makes its way around, and, you know, that's kind of my whole thing, you know. And what a place to do it, like in the Panic community. We've got a good thing going.
It's gorgeous. It can feed you by putting food on the table and feed your soul at the same time. I mean, we should all be so lucky to have a job. And obviously you have talent. Have you, I mean, you work in many different mediums, it sounds like, as far as illustrative art. Do you have like any training, or is you just naturally able to, some people can just paint and draw? You're just born that way? Or
I definitely was just, like, naturally inclined to be an artist in every way my whole life, but drawing was always my thing. Sketchbooks upon sketchbooks, you know, growing up my whole life. I went to school for graphic design. So that's, like, where my training is, but I would consider myself like an illustrator by trade. That's probably, I'm a designer too, but I make most of my money, freelance and otherwise being an illustrator. So I don't have any, I guess, formal training in that. But
certainly no formal training as a jewelry maker.
Yeah, definitely.
No. And it's amazing. I mean, your creations are incredible for honestly winging it a lot of times with these prototypes.
Yeah. The internet's a vast resource of information. So I watch a lot of online tutorials about all the things, which is amazing. So I don't have formal training, but the internet's helped me a lot.
That's glorious. Is it fairly frequent for people to come up to you just out of the blue? Hey, do you remember me? I bought this from you in this place.
Yeah, it's constant.
So you make a lot of friends. You have a lot of friends.
Yeah, it's constant. I'm also I would like to think I'm a pretty approachable person. Maybe not.
Absolutely, you are.
But I think at a show, the energy I'm giving off is like, yeah, come say hi to me, Mm-hmm. I love it. It's fun. The only thing that gets me, and I've talked to Danny about this, is that, definitely people remember me who I don't remember because that happens so frequently, and there are times when I'm like, oh no, like they think I should know who they are and I don't. And I feel terrible, but I'm really pretty good at faces and I'll remember interactions and moments, but I can't always place everyone. But yeah, it happens a lot.
I mean, I vended on behalf of Magic and Glory one total run, and I still have people come up to me and be like, "Remember me? I bought earrings." And I'm like, "No, I don't remember you because I
it's really funny.
People. That's a lot to remember.
It's really funny when people expect you.
If you go, it's a lot to remember every customer.
It's a lot too from, people remember the merch and everything, but a lot. I have a kind of a presence on Instagram. That's sort of how during COVID, Magic and Glory blew up. Everyone was online shopping. And I was missing the connection of music and all of our people. And I leaned pretty heavily into my Instagram account and connecting with people that way. And not in like a marketing way, like literally just in a like keep my sanity way. And my first playa, the first playa back after that, actually, the first Milwaukee run back after that was, I remember like pre-show getting in there real early, and going to the bathroom and waiting in line and turning around. And this girl had these cute earrings on and I said something and she said, "Wait, are you Magic and Glory?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess you can call me that, And now that happens all the time. And so it's really funny. Like Magic and Glory was, it's from Second Skin. It's a line from Second Skin. And it felt like a very appropriate name for my business. I did not realize it would become what it is in all the ways. And so I didn't realize people would just be calling me Magic and Glory like it was my name. And at first I was like, I don't know, it feels weird. And now I'm like, you just got to embrace it. There's worse things to be called.
It's true.
I think that I'm the only one who sends you videos of JB saying Magic and Glory during Second Skin at shows, but I assume I'm not. How many do you get?
Dude, I will be walking. It's happened to me walking out of Red Rocks. It's happened to me like walking back to my room at Step Breakup. People just screaming at me, "You got your song!" Or I remember somebody I had never met before running up to me at Red Rocks on the way out, like on the ramp, and being like, "I didn't know," and I had no idea who this person was. And he just came running up to me. They're like, "I didn't know until tonight that's where you got your name from." And I was like, trying to put it all together. And it's funny because those people are friends of mine now too. They gave me a pin and, I stayed in touch with them. But that playa after that Milwaukee, the first playa back after COVID, it was post a late night show. So it's probably like 3 a.m. or something. And Rose, my ride or die best friend Rose, brings this girl up to me and she says, "She's been looking for you." And I was like, okay. And I turn and it's this amazing, beautiful woman named Penny Jo, who has the sweetest Southern accent you've ever heard, just telling me how much she loves my work and like how great my art is and how she's been buying stuff. She's followed me on Instagram. And she just stood there and fangirled in this like Southern accent to me for a couple of minutes. And I stood there, I'm sure, just turning bright red. And I just didn't know what was happening, But I loved her. And her boyfriend, Austin, was standing behind her with this smile on his face, just like looking at her, like thinking she's the best thing in the world and realizing like how exciting this is for her. And I just thought, well, like, isn't he the cutest, you know? Fast forward, those are two of my best friends, like, in the world. They're two of my favorite people to see Panic with, but they're also like best friends in my life, you know? And we always joke that she, like, it was because she fangirled on me. And it's not really a joke. It's like how it happened, you know? But that was I'll never forget that moment, because like I walked away and I was like, what was that? And Rose was like, I don't know. And then it kind of just kept happening from there. It's not always like as grand as that, but yeah, people come up and introduce themselves a lot, and I love it.
I mean, it is
out there, everyone wants to say hi to me at a show. Say hi, because people will
incredible.
message me later and be like, I just saw you, but I didn't want to say hi. And I'm like, come say hi. I eat it up.
There's a widespread panic is a small town, so to speak, and those of us that go to a lot of shows are probably, known by a lot of people there, that we recognize each other. And so maybe it's like, in a small town, people get reputations about what they're all about, what they do or don't do at the shows. And so the fact that you've built and created this persona and this presence through your artwork, through your kindness, through your connection with other people, it's incredible. You have created this because of how much you love this band and other bands that are in this genre, and how talented you are at creating memorable experiences through your art. So for that, I'm just commend you. And I'm really glad that I got to meet you.
Oh my gosh, me too.
And I hope you have do you have a portfolio? This is my last thing. Do you have a portfolio of like all the posters you've created over the years? Did you like save one of each?
I do actually have almost all of them. There are a couple that went missing in action. I would like, but all my friends have them in their collection. So every once in a while, I have friends who will show me a poster and I'll be like, geez, like, when you haven't looked at something you made in like 20 some years. So I have some posters I'm like pretty embarrassed about, but yeah, I have most of them.
Oh, I'm glad that you saved those, because I'd like to at least see images of them sometimes. So
yeah, so I would love to send them to you. I actually have a really special present for Danny that I've been carrying around for years, which is a poster from your very first show that I made.
On 7/22.
Mm-hmm.
July the 26th.
Yeah, if I had been thinking ahead, I should have just like brought it and shown it to you. But yeah, when I decided that I needed to give this to you, you were in the middle of like, doing your gypsy thing or like moving or something. And I thought, well, I'll hold on to it,
till
so when you settle in, I got a real good present for you.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's delightful.
Thank you.
That's all.
Yeah, it's actually like one of my favorite, like, of my old posters that I've ever done.
Well, you brought my ex-husband a poster from his first Milwaukee run, or maybe his first show. Right. I remember. Yeah, that you made. Nice. Yeah.
I don't recall that, but I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, is it with the snake on it? Yeah, that's a good poster.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, it was a precursor to Magic and Glory, actually.
That's great. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I could talk about Panic all day.
Is there any last message you want to say to Panic Nation?
Just keep loving each other. We need it like now more than ever. So yeah, I'll see you out there. My next run isn't going to be until, Playa. It's not that far away.
That's right around the corner.
Far away, and I hate to miss a New Year's, but I made alternative plans. But yeah,
we'll see you on the beach.
Will you be leading calisthenics at this Playa? Will Body by Panic be there? Because I'm bringing a whole suitcase full of workout clothes.
Right?
Yeah, Body is going to be there either way.
Body by Panic is a lifestyle choice.
It is a lifestyle.
I'm claiming it from the top of the mountain.
Ray and I have been known to meet about a half an hour before the lagoon set and do some stretching together in the sand. So if anyone wants to join,
right, let's do it.
I'm always down for some group stretches. And like, it's funny, it started as a joke, but like now we're getting older and the way I dance, like I need that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I need to be stretching at set break and before and after, especially at Playa, like what a marathon,
Right. All right,
Thank you so much,
thank
Ray.
you.
Amazing. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I love you both.
Love you.
This has been a production of We Are the Lucky Ones, a 501c3 nonprofit organization built by fans and built for fans. Keep on keeping on. Take care of each other out there, and we'll see you at the show.